Thank you so much and welcome to everyone. I feel like I'm watching a starting scene from the Baby Bunch as I see all the multiple boxes across me, but I really have to take just a moment off script and thank the team. That would be Marianne, that would be Phyllis, that would be Erica, and that would be Sibby, who took the time and effort after I asked to put this together because these these check presentations, virtual or otherwise, for me provide two very important functions. First, it allows us to recognize our partner grantees and the work that they do, and allows them to have more exposure that hopefully then means more dollars. And it also is an opportunity to thank the hard work of the senior program officers and the staff of the foundation and Blue Cross, who take the time and the effort to meet and work with individuals across the state so that we're able to find organizations that we can partner with to improve the health of Michigan's residents. So first of all, thank you so much. This is our first virtual and probably won't be our last virtual. But I want to also take just a second to acknowledge both some of our board members who are in attendance and another one of our partners, and that would be Paul LaFrida, who's the market president, and Julia Ronica, who's the director of strategic initiatives for Blue Cross Complete. And for those of you that don't know, Blue Cross Complete works hard across the state of Michigan and provides invaluable support for over 300,000 Michiganders, and also does a fantastic job of partnering to support the health of communities through different organizational events and partnerships with grantees. And so Blue Cross Complete should definitely be on your list of partnerships and individuals that you want to reach out to because of the work and the powerful impact that they have in the state of Michigan. Well, what we're here to talk about today is about supportive housing. And we all know inherently how important housing is and what a significant challenge it continues to be, not only in Michigan, but in the United States and across the world. And individuals we know that will face the chronic homelessness have high rates of substance use, mental disorders. They'll have more chronic health conditions, and more importantly, chronic health conditions that aren't always addressed, where meds are always taken and follow-up care is provided. And as we've worked across the state and the country and the world for so long, we know there's no simple way to address this problem. So I applaud the team for working together to understand that individuals that get supportive housing, which is what this awarding is all about, do receive life-improving services, such as healthcare workers, such as intensive case managers that can help them along their journey and include improved health. So on behalf of the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, as well as the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan Foundation, we are very, very proud to announce nearly $300,000 to 6 nonprofit community-based organizations across Michigan that are going to support our collective vision of increasing access both to housing, advancing racial equity, and economic health for those that are in need. These incredible organizations, and I don't say that lightly because many of them I've either partnered with or personally made contributions to, are inextricably linked and have created very, very innovative opportunities to help vulnerable organizations and vulnerable individuals. The nonprofits that will utilize this grant will add a support element to their existing housing initiatives, addressing the root cause of health disparities, including those that we saw that were demonstrated during COVID-19, as well as those that come from just regular chronic homelessness, mental illness, substance use disorder, which is something the Blues and the Foundation have really been trying to support over the years. It could be individuals that are suffering because they are members of the LGBTQ community. It could be veterans or adults from the foster care system. We believe that their efforts will be very important to begin the journey across the state of Michigan. It is also our hope that as they continue their programs, we're able to glean from these programs as they conclude information that can be shared with other organizations. So let me tell you who's going to be presenting today. The Family Promise of Grand Rapids will receive $50,000. New Destiny Pathways, Inc. in Grand Rapids will receive $50,000. Great Lakes Recovery Center in Marquette will receive more than $48,000. Lighthouse Michigan in Pontiac will receive $50,000. The Ruth Ellis Center, Incorporated in Detroit will receive $50,000. And Southwest Counseling Solutions in Detroit will receive $50,000. And now it is my sincere pleasure to turn the program over to the recipients so that they can each share some information with you about their organizations and their programs. Thank you.
Well, good morning. This is Greg Toutant, Executive Director for Great Lakes Recovery Centers, and alongside me is Amy Poyer, our Foundation Director. We are both excited and extremely grateful and humble for the support of the Blue Cross Foundation for our supportive housing initiative that encompasses recovery housing. The funds for this project goes towards something that we developed with the community of Lance and their committed group of local citizens that wanted to target addiction and recovery efforts through the creation of a recovery residence for women who can also bring their children into care with them. This is really a vital social determinant of health project that provides long-term stays for women who are new to recovery. So the funding that we'll be receiving will help strengthen case management and case coordination services as we address issues of ongoing recovery, recovery support programming, counseling, ongoing housing efforts, employment, and vocational skill development. So the community impact for something along this nature is significant. And again, we are extremely grateful for what these funds will do for the continuation of our project, which is entitled the Ripple Recovery Residence in honor of a local resident there. So again, we are extremely grateful for this opportunity to expand recovery housing efforts and really to work on a lot of those root causes that Audrey talked about that surrounds addiction and what we can do to help better target that. So I think with all of our colleagues here at Great Lakes and in the communities we serve, thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to turn it over then to Ryan Hertz, the President and CEO of Lighthouse Michigan.
Thank you so much, Greg. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Ryan Hertz. I'm CEO at Lighthouse Michigan, and I'm also happy to have a couple of our other staff on the call, though not in the same location as me. I know Jenny Poma, our COO, is with us, and I believe Russ Russell, our Chief Development Officer, as well. We're extremely grateful for this gift from Blue Cross Blue Shield Michigan Foundation. The significance of it for us is we recently went through a merger. So Lighthouse Michigan is the resulting organization of a merger between Lighthouse of Oakland County and South Oakland Shelter, two organizations focused on different aspects of poverty, coming together with a new mission, building equitable communities that alleviate poverty. So now we have a county-wide footprint. And we brought these two organizations together specifically because we felt that we'd be better positioned to make progress on the issue of affordable and supportive housing as a primary lever on the issue of poverty and equitability. In particular, this grant will be funding or will be supporting the cost of the first year of supportive services at our newest housing development and our first post-merger development, and I believe our first supportive housing development between the two organizations. And that development is called Coolish Place. It's in Oak Park, Michigan. It's a 64-unit affordable and supportive housing development developed through the Low Income Housing Tax Credit Program, actually in partnership with another grantee who's on this call, in partnership with Southwest Housing Solutions, part of Southwest Solutions. And a quarter of those units, of the 64 units, are designated for permanent supportive housing, with 5 of those units specifically set aside for frequent users of emergency rooms. So all chronically homeless individuals, but with a sub-targeted population. So we're really excited to have this partnership underwriting this important work, and we're grateful. Thank you so much. And with that, I will turn it over to our next grantee, Family Promise of Grand Rapids.
Thanks, Ryan. My name is Kate O'Keefe from Family Promise of Grand Rapids, and we also have our CEO, Cheryl Shook, on the call. We are thrilled to be here this morning, and congratulations to all the organizations on this call. Family Promise provides emergency shelter and basic needs to families with children experiencing homelessness. We help families find that place to call home, and then we walk alongside families for up to 2 years to ensure stability. Right now, we have over 70 families in emergency hotel shelter, and those families need to move home as quickly as possible. That's where the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation stepped in with their supportive housing funding. Thanks to this critical funding, we were able to bring on additional staff capacity, which will assist 50 additional families, over 100 kids, with supportive housing and long-term interventions and support. Like Audrey said, the families that we're working with need quality, healthy, safe housing. It's key. And we know that this housing crisis in Kent County is disproportionately affecting persons of color. So with this funding, we are working to improve those social determinants of health for these families and kiddos, and we're doing that through several different avenues. Not only are these families moving home, but they're working with a master level social worker who's trained in evidence-based interventions. We're increasing access to these community resources, connecting families to primary care physicians, lead screenings in their home, and connecting families and kids with preschool opportunities. We are thrilled to be able to do more of this work and serve more families in our community. From all of us here at Family Promise, thank you to the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation for joining us in ending homelessness one family at a time. Please know this funding truly does make a difference. And with that, I'd like to hand it off to Jamie from Southwest Counseling Solutions.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jamie Ebaugh. I'm the Executive Director of Southwest Counseling Solutions. I'm joined by our CEO, Joe Tassi, and Sherry Allen, who is our volunteer coordinator for Southwest Counseling Solutions. I want to first thank Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation for their generous support of our Paquette Square project through this grant. This grant will allow us to enhance the services provided to formerly homeless veterans who reside at Paquette Square. For those not familiar, Paquette Square is a 150-unit apartment complex that serves veterans with their transition from homelessness to stability in housing. Paquette Square utilizes a blended management model where property management and support services work together for the betterment of the veterans who reside there. Along with housing, services are offered to every veteran to assist with recovery needs. Many veterans suffer from PTSD, not only from their time in the military, but also as a result of experiencing homelessness and living on the streets. The need for care coordination to access physical and mental health services, including basic needs, is considerable. This grant will provide an essential component to allow us to coordinate veterans' needs with community partners and the VA. Our program will focus on housing stability and assist with skill building for veterans to live independently and build a life of recovery. Ensuring that basic needs of food security is available to every veteran is essential to our work. Some veterans may choose to live out the rest of their life at Paquette Square, while others use this as an opportunity to prepare for living independently outside of Paquette Square. Our program will assist veterans on their individual plan of service and with achieving their goals. We are appreciative of the opportunity to enhance the overall experience that veterans will receive at Paquette Square as a result of the generosity of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation. We are extremely appreciative and grateful for this opportunity, and we thank all of the Blue Cross Blue Shield family. Now, let us hear from Nikidra DeBarge, the Executive Director and Co-Founder of New Destiny Pathways.
Hello, thank you, Jamie. Again, my name is Nikidra DeBarge. Thank you, Jamie. Again, my name is Nikidra DeBarge, and I am the co-founder and Executive Director of New Destiny Pathways. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation, especially the great call that we got from Kelly Britton. Felt like a random call, but it was right on time. So we just want to say thank you guys on behalf of myself and my partner, COO Alice Vassler, and my housing program manager, Michelle McGlone. New Destiny Pathways started in 2012 as an effort to fill the gap of housing for young women who were aging out of the foster care system. I was as a foster care case manager at that time, and then my partner as a foster parent. We saw the needs of young women who were coming out of places like a Wedgwood Christian Services, St. John's, and they didn't have a place to go. And one of the things that we recognize is that when you have a foundation where you can have supportive housing, that makes a difference, especially for those who have experienced so much trauma in their lives. So what New Destiny Pathways allows young women 17 to 21 to do is to be able to transition to our program. They have housing. We help with life skills education, mental health support, daily routine, employability skills. We also help with the mental health aspect where we connect them with clinicians to help with their journey through that process. Our goal is to help them to become independent or self-sufficient as much as possible with the support of community partners. New Destiny Pathways right now, we have a 6-bedroom home for young women, and we tell them that we're in partnership with them. We can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves, but that we're here to help them get to that destination. And so able to see young women not only graduate from high school, but graduate from college, get married, have children. So we've been able to watch the seeds that we've sown manifest into great things. And so we're just excited about this grant. This is one of our first huge grants. And so with that, we'll be able to help with that mental health support. We will be able to contract with clinicians to come in and do group therapy, equine therapy, art therapy. We'll be able to build capacity for our programming so that we can see more girls get help. As of right now, we've been help over 50 young women transition out of our program. So we're excited about that. Be able to do so much with this grant as it relates to making sure that our program expands and that we can give the proper support to the young women in our program. So thank you again. We are so excited. Thank you to everyone who was a part of this team. Congratulations to everyone who was able to receive this grant. And thank you for the hearts of those who are on this foundation who really understand the need for supportive housing. Typically, I work with human trafficking victims, and what we have been able to do is to help young women avoid some of these experiences. We know that stable housing creates stable lives. And so thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your Blue Cross Blue Shield team. And with that, I will give it back to Mrs. Audrey Harvey.
Thank you. Okay, are you able to hear me? We also have one final presenter, Jerry Peterson from the Ruth Ellis Center. Jerry? Jerry, unmute or
Muted, yep.
there you go.
Much. I'm sorry for joining late. I really want to commend the foundation for making this connection between housing and health. It's something that people really don't think about enough. And so it was very, very exciting for you all to have that forward thinking and to be investing in the community in this way. So thank you so much for that foresight and for the investment in the Ruth Ellis Center. Ruth Ellis Center for 21 years has been serving LGBTQ youth experiencing homelessness and other barriers to stability and success in life. And in November last year, we broke ground on a 43-unit permanent supportive housing project, mixed-use building that will be built on Claremont Street, half block west of Woodward in Detroit. And we're finalizing an agreement with Henry Ford Health Systems, so we will have a second fully integrated behavioral health and primary care site in the first floor of that building. But one of the most critical links in terms of wellness and health and housing is that we know that I believe for many populations, but especially for the young people that we serve, that peers with lived experience being a part of the team that is providing support is a really critical component of actually helping people trust and connect with care. And so the funding from this grant will be funding a peer resident, a peer specialist who will be a 24/7 resident, receive free housing in the building. And that role is really going to be the linchpin, we believe, in terms of really helping young people trust and connect with the services that are available to them. Because of course in housing, accessing supportive services has to be entirely voluntary. But it's really important that we reach and really engage fully in services as the highest percentage of residents as possible. So this position is really going to leverage the other supportive services that we have available, and I think is a critical factor to young people being able to stabilize and move forward. Our vision for, even though this is a permanent supportive housing project, the vision is that it's non-time limited housing. In other words, we expect that probably around 60%, we hope, of young people will actually move in and move on into permanent market rate housing within anywhere from 2 to 5 years. And that these are young people who, because of the layers of trauma that they experience, really need longer term support. So you are providing a really critical linchpin for making this whole project work, and we are really grateful.
Audrey, we can't hear you.
Well, that was not helpful. I just wanted to thank everyone again and say now we've got a few minutes for questions and answers. We can start with media. If you have questions, you can either put your question in the chat or unmute yourself and ask a question. Do we have any questions? If not, none for media at this time. Does anyone have any questions that they'd like to raise to any of our recipients or to Blue Cross Blue Shield representatives? I see we have Suzanne Miller-Allen here, who's the Senior Director of our Community Responsibility and Social Mission team, as well as Pam Yeager, who's our Director of Social Mission. I think there might be one question. For Great Lakes Recovery, how much does it mean to you to get this funding? That's from TV6.
Yes, hi, thank you, both Audrey and TV6. It's a great question. So when we think about the financing models for recovery housing in the state of Michigan, there's not a clear, definitive benefit that exists for this type of supportive housing. So the funding that we would be receiving means a tremendous amount. So with local giving through our local prepaid inpatient health plan, NorthCare, they provide some supportive funding that's flexible to them to provide. But really, this really helps to fill a void in a gap that exists around recovery housing. So it means a tremendous amount.
Yeah, cool. Audrey, I have a question. Just kind of the go for it. This is a great initiative and wonderful initiative from Blue Cross. But what's your thinking going forward in terms of, will this be a continuation of focus on housing, or was this a social determinant that you all had said, hey, let's focus on this now, or what's your thinking?
What we realized, Joseph, thank you for that question, is that this is really a focus on the connection between housing and health. Obviously, with the grants, we're not able to provide housing or provide bricks and mortar access, but it's really about understanding there was an opportunity. Yeah. And that opportunity was knowing that there were individuals in the community that were addressing housing. And because of the infrastructure and the amount of services that they provided, we were able, with a small amount of funding, to support them providing even more types of strength and assistance that will get at the core part of a person's health. So, for example, if you've got an individual who is in this housing, and let's say they have high blood pressure, like most of us do, I'll say it that way. The fact that I'm able to see my doctor, have regular checks on a regular basis, adjust meds as necessary, is very vital for my long-term health. But imagine an individual who might be in supportive housing, but doesn't have the support of someone who's helping them check their blood pressure or monitor those kinds of things and follow up on. Something might be as simple as a med, as a simple blood pressure med that they should be on, that could make a tremendous difference. And so it was that linkage between understanding that there was a role we could play to support organizations that did housing, because they were already trying to support health of their constituents. So I didn't mean to go off too much, but it's a link that I will tell you doesn't always occur to people in the beginning, Joseph. But when you understand the organizations across the state and the nation that operate in this space and the tremendous opportunity they present, it's really very eye-opening. So I won't say this is the last of these types of grants we'll do.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Audrey, it's Paul. Not a question, but I just really like to congratulate all the community partners for all the incredible and important work they're doing out for our Michigan residents, and look forward to working with some of the partners in the future. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I will tell you, my final remarks would be, there's another link that people often wouldn't make. And I say this to Joseph and others in the work that Nikita mentioned. Quite often when individuals think of people that are being trafficked, we don't always think about the health aspects that go along with people that are being trafficked, whether they're men or women, whether they're U.S. citizens, or whether they're immigrants. We don't always make that connection, but there is an incredible connection where there are opportunities there to help them address health issues. And so it's just those linkages that sometimes we look at the surface. And when you think about the theory of the iceberg, we have to keep in mind, we only see 10% of what really is there. And so I'm proud of the work of the team that took the time to dig a little bit deeper and say, are we doing all that we can to address the social determinants of health? Well, we're at 10:59. I don't know, Suzanne, would you like to have some comments, or Pam, with anyone else from our organization? I think Kelly Britton, as well as Kim Kratz are on the call, that were the crafters. If you've got anything, we've got 1 minute left. Well, thank you again to the team. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to
Yes,
say, this is
please.
Pam Yeager from the Social Mission at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. I just want to thank you, Audrey, for this partnership with the foundation to bring these grants to some of the important work that's being done in communities across the state. And I think an important part of this is the opportunity that we have. This is a pilot initiative, and so it's an opportunity for us to look at some of the outcomes from these projects and evaluate them as we move forward in answer to Joseph's question about going forward. And so we're really looking forward to the success of these grants and these projects and the great work that's going on across the state. And so I just want to thank you very much for your leadership, Audrey, on this initiative and this wonderful partnership. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We're going to wrap up. I'm just going to ask the speakers to stay on so we can get that screenshot of all of you. So thanks again, everyone.
Thanks, Pam.
Have a great day.
Thank you.